time to kick it old school. So you can feel cool. Give it to me, baby. Baby. Yeah. Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school. So you can feel cool. Give it to me, baby. Baby. Yeah. Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school. So you can feel cool. Give it to me, baby. Baby. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? 2021 is here. A lot of stuff happening.
Outrageous Fun. Season 3.
What's up, everybody?
What up?
Dude, how we doing?
A little cold.
Speaking of cold,
Yeah.
it is cold.
Cold.
So
it is
quickly.
November, but
Dude, it is freaking cold. And so I've been doing this thing lately, bro. So I've been reading, I told you I've been reading David Goggins' book,
Right.
Can't Hurt Me. Great book, by the way. You said you read it, right?
that's the one where it starts with his like life story.
It's the
about,
Navy SEAL guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's like his book.
Yeah.
Like I think he's written maybe a couple books, but
No, I
that's
think
like
it's his only book.
Oh.
Maybe he has written another book. I have no idea. I don't know David Goggins, the author.
It's
I know
his,
him
like,
as a
life
Navy
story.
SEAL dude. Right. Yeah.
the
I don't
way.
see him writing another book. I feel like he's just like he wrote this one book. You know what I mean?
He might have
He
a
doesn't
couple
seem like an
books.
artiste. He's kind of just a bad motherfucker.
You
type
better
of guy.
yeah, you better watch what you're saying.
Right, I know. I love
Come
you.
find me and fuck you up.
You helped a bunch. You're helping me out. So I've been watching his book. I've been listening to his book because I have a long commute. So I got the audio book, but he makes me feel like a pussy every morning, which is great energy to go to work with.
Yeah, of
But
course.
it's also kind of depressing. So
Right.
I started. I realized like I never do cardio, and this guy would run like 20-something miles. Like he does like 100
With, like,
mile
broken
marathons.
legs.
Yeah, with broken femurs and shit.
He's
I'm
like, I've been pissing my pants for 2 miles. Then I shit myself and ran 10 more miles.
and I'm like,
legitimately,
I ran
that's-
around the block and threw up.
Yeah,
So-
you got shin splints and like cried about it.
Right. So my gym is like 0.7 miles from my apartment. So I was like, yo, I'm going to start running to the gym and running home from the gym. So I'm going
Nice.
to run to the gym, lift, run home from the gym, easy cardio, transportation. Right. I've been doing that for like 2 weeks. It's been awesome. I enjoy it. I'm getting cardio. I feel fit, feel good. And honestly, it was very much stemmed from my McDonald's incident where I couldn't breathe and I couldn't have sex.
Right.
So
You had
I'm
cardiac
getting
arrest?
the cardio in now.
Nice.
But I did not account for a few things. So it's starting to get colder, which I honestly kind of like running in the cold. But last night, I'm on my way to the gym. I'm running. I'm like, I just get around the block where it's like too late to turn back around and go back to my apartment. It starts violently hailing. Oh. Like parallel hail. Like it's coming horizontally at my
Like a
face.
Drew Brees commercial for Tamiflu.
Literally, I felt like I was training for fucking something, dude. I felt invincible, but also very vulnerable all at the same
Yeah.
time. So
What
I didn't
doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Right. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But what I didn't think about was 1, weather. 2, once I'm there and it's now pouring rain, how am I getting home?
Oh, you were running to the gym?
I was running to the gym.
Oh, I thought you were running home.
No, I was running to the gym. It's now way too late to turn back around. I'm like, I didn't even think about it. I was like, I gotta get through this wind, get to the gym. I'm like, fuck it. I got a hoodie on. The hood is like blowing back behind me like a fucking cape. I'm Superman running to this fucking gym. And then I get there. I'm soaking wet, icy and shit. I take my sweatshirt off and I'm like, I gotta go back home and a half mile in this fucking tundra that we got going on now. Did not think of it at all. But David Goggins would have went home. So I still I got home.
Did you
but
run?
It sucked. Yeah, bro, I sprinted home. And I was so fucking tired. Like I switched my workouts this week. My Rob sent me some new shit, and it's all very aerobic. Like I'm very much out of breath during it, which I
Nice.
didn't know was going to be the case. So when I went to run home, I was winded. First step, I'm like,
That's good to push.
sprinting through
You got to. I feel like you're one of those guys that's always going to be in shape your whole life. Like you're always going to look good, but your like cholesterol's going to be your cholesterol's. You're going to go to the doctor, and the doc's just going to be like, dude, your cholesterol is like off the fucking charts.
Well, unless there's cholesterol in pizza, then I don't think that's possible, doctor. Yes, sir.
Yes, there
Pizza's
is.
all cholesterol.
Because it's just you
Yeah.
have an absolute beautiful way somehow of like eating yourself into oblivion, but still having a 6-pack.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
That's because I
It's
limited to
bullshit,
one.
but it's impressive.
I mean, I structured my life very stringently so that I'm able to do that.
Right.
You know, I pick like 2 hard days a week to pretty much
Right,
kill
right,
myself. I actually did that again. I ate myself into a problem this weekend.
Nice.
I ordered halal at like 1 a.m. That place is open late.
Right,
I
dangerous.
ordered it, delivery, double meat, and it was fucking delicious.
That's good.
Yeah, it was real good. But
Speaking of runners, remember last week or 2 weeks ago when I was talking about the marathon? I was just like really complimenting runners and like how impressed I was with them and all
Yeah,
that shit.
I think that was last week.
I take all of it back and fuck you for running too, dude. I was going for a walk on the river, and for some reason, when you're on the river, like on the west side, there's the Upper West Side.
Upper West. Hi.
There's a gate I don't know if it's to like slow you down. They have like random gates where you have to like all kind of funnel through one little section. It like breaks it up. It's very annoying. So like it's kind of like a double gate, and there's a couple of them where if you were like walking on the river path, you have to all like funnel through this weird side gate and then keep going. So I was walking, stupid.
Very dumb.
So I'm going for a walk. I'm chilling. I start to go through the little gate, and I'm walking. I've been walking the whole time, and this guy's on a run, and I was ahead of him. So I'm walking through the thing, and then the guy's like runs up to the gate, and then he just starts jogging in place. He's like jogging in place, waiting for me to go. I'm walking. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he's like, "Would you hurry up?" He screamed at me, and I literally was like, "I'm walking here."
Bro.
Like it's never actually come up so naturally. I was literally walking here.
Bro, when you started the story, I was like, when am I going to be able to push my microphone to the side and go, hey, I'm walking here?
Literally.
I've been waiting.
He was just jogging. He was like this with his face, and he had a fucked up face on. I'm like, dude, relax, guy. I'm like, I'm walking here. Literally, I'm walking here.
Dude,
Fuck
and
off.
this is hilarious that these are our stories, because in my now new cardiovascular pursuits, first time I've ever had to do this while I'm waiting for the light to change.
Yeah, the jogging
on
place.
my way. I've never done it.
I've done it before. I feel like the worst.
There's 47 cars parked, like waiting to go, and I'm just fucking skeeting and bopping and skeeting and bopping and skeeting, and I'm just like, I look like a douchebag. Like it's
what's
freezing
the play?
outside.
What should you do? Maybe
can't
some
stop.
squats.
That's way douchier than running in place.
Maybe like a stretch.
No, at least running in place, you can rationalize in your head, like, all right, they know why I'm doing this. If you're doing squats, they're just like, what a douchebag. It's fucking the corner of Magnolia.
I don't know. When I see people running in place,
Park.
I'm like, just stop for a second, would you? Just stop for 1 second. It's fine. Don't run in place, you fucking weirdo.
Dude,
I've ran in place before too.
There's a purpose. You gotta keep the heart rate going.
Of course.
You gotta keep it going.
Maybe it's it's an interval thing though. You take a little break, then you go into a sprint again. How about that?
You're not sprinting. I'm not sprinting down the sidewalk. That's insanity. I mean, I did it in the rain, but it was raining. Nobody else was around. I'm not just gonna sprint down a sidewalk like a maniac.
That's true.
It's insane. On a hard sidewalk, tough luck.
You running on the sidewalk or in the road a little bit?
Sidewalk. I'm not running in the middle of a fucking road. What are you, nuts?
On the side of the road? I like running on the road because it's more...
There's parked cars. I'd be in the road. Like, cars park along the street. I would be in the middle of the street.
Just be careful for your ankles. Those sidewalks can have cracks.
Thanks.
And you have some bitch-ass ankles.
I have fucking terrible.
You have bad ankles.
I do have notoriously bad ankles.
Yeah, Joe claims that he cannot rollerblade because the ligaments in his ankle are so loose that they don't stabilize. But I'm just like, dude, I think you just don't know how to rollerblade.
That's potentially it, but even regardless of my rollerblade, it's so true. And honestly, it's probably my knees. They buckle like a fucking baby deer.
It's just like he's like Bambi on. He's like a deer on ice when Joe's skating.
But it's so weird. I remember I've had to have told this story like 97 times on the podcast. But every time I go rollerblading or ice skating, that happens, like the buckle thing. But if I try to correct it, I can't skate. If I just let myself buckle, I'm fast as hell. I'm fucking skating and bopping again. I'm skating and bopping.
You're tearing your meniscus, but you're skating and bopping,
right.
baby.
It honestly explains so much of the
This is
story.
so random, but it's on the topic, dude. One time, my dad has taken me, like I grew up playing roller hockey, and like we would go to like the ice rink sometimes and just like skate around. And one time I was like, Dad, come on, like come skate with me. And it's like he couldn't. KO, big old KO. My dad is just a big old doof. He puts on some ice skates. I don't know if he's ever been ice skating before. He was probably 40 years old. Never been ice skating before. Yeah. And we get on the ice, dude, and he just cannot leave the boards. Like, when you're in an ice rink.
The cone?
No, like the boards, like the side where there's like the hockey boards, like when there's people just like always just like clawing their way around the rink and they're just pulling themselves. Like he was doing that, and then they closed. It was like rink time was over for the Zamboni, and then you have to leave the ice, and he was like on the other side of the rink and couldn't make it back, and he was like a 40-year-old man, and like two 17-year-old boys making like $7.25 an hour had to fucking grab him up like a little grandma and skate him off, and he was like couldn't stand up. It was fucking hilarious.
I could never picture KO like succumbing to like getting help, you know? Like, I remember that time we drove to pick him up when he like blew his knee out.
He tore his quad, actually. Right. Literally tore his quad
off the bone.
Yeah.
And me and you went to pick him up at Robert Moses, and I couldn't even picture, like, he got in the car like a mess.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even, it was hard to see him in that vulnerable
yeah.
state. I couldn't imagine him getting like carried off the ice by
hilarious.
two children.
It was hilarious.
Also, by the way, they were probably getting paid like $4.50 an hour that year.
Yeah.
At that time.
Right.
Damn, they'd be making six figures right now. Shit, with what's going on, they'd be making $19 an hour.
For real.
Damn. Oh my gosh. KO, man.
Do we want to go right into this? I'm having so much fun.
Yeah, I know. It's only been. Oh, Frankie doesn't have a timer up. I have no idea how long it's been. It's okay. Oh, wait, really quick before you get into anything. Huge thank you to Frankie. I didn't tell you this yet. So last week, obviously, we had mad technical difficulties that caused it definitely caused two.
I was playing
tempers.
peer mediator, but yeah.
Right. You were feeling it, but you weren't acting on it.
Well, I'm always feeling it. I'm always trying to just diffuse, though.
Right. Well, first of all, fuck you. Second, don't diffuse anything. This is raw and live. Second of all, it happened again at the other show Frankie produces the next night, but worse. It just didn't fucking work. So there was a piece that his computer, he had to get a new computer, and then long story short, he needed a piece that the only place that had the piece is in Manhattan. And Frankie today went to Manhattan, not even knowing if they had the piece.
You should have told me. I would have picked it up. Was it B&H?
Yeah, it was B&H.
B&H is the shit.
Yeah, but you would. I mean, let's be real. The odds of you getting the correct piece.
No, the people that work at B&H are some of the most attentive workers. Am I right?
I was in absolute heaven.
Frankie definitely
Frankie
has.
definitely
It is
loves
an
it.
experience. You go in immediately. Someone's like, "Yo, what's up? What do you need? What's going on?" I used to go there
Why
for
have
Big
you
Elf
been
Silent
there?
Disco
Oh,
shit.
Big Elf.
And I'd be like, "Yo, this is what I do. I have no clue how it works." And they're like, "Yo, go see Tommy in the back." And I'm like, "Tommy, this is what I'm." He's like, "Yeah, you need this. You need this. This is what's gonna happen. You got to plug up." Like they know everything. It's crazy.
Meanwhile, Frankie's in there probably telling them. He's like, I just need this. I know what to do with it.
I ordered it all on my phone, and then I just went there to pick it up.
Oh, he
I knew
did know
I knew
it was
it
there.
was there.
He did, right. You
But
did know it was there.
yesterday I was calling every single possible supply place I know on Long Island, and they're like, "Yeah, no, I can get here in 5 to 10 days." I'm like, unacceptable.
Right.
How about 5 to 10 hours? Because that's my timeline right now.
Yeah.
So it's huge thanks to Frankie for heading down to the city, picking that shit up, and getting it all ready.
Lovely.
So thank you, Frankie.
Thank you, Frankie.
Welcome.
I'll share. Do we want to go right into that story?
Just go into whatever you want. You got something to say? I don't think I have anything to say.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Well,
So-
I had a couple fun stories, but Joe wants me to share this story, so I'll share.
Well,
this.
share a fun story.
I'll do this story first. So,
Just know that the timer is plus 21 minutes.
That's
Oh, cool.
Oh, we've been on.
Oh,
for
no,
20
no, no.
That can't be.
Sorry.
That
Plus
seems
10.
ridiculous.
Plus
Okay.
10.
Okay.
Plus 10.
We aired the countdown.
So, I've been in this long COVID business endeavor
Oh,
for
we're
about
going.
2 months now. And it's just entrepreneurial, tough. I've kind of been realizing I want a little bit less time devoted to this because it's just I'm not getting paid. It's all free. Just
How are we doing on the sales aspect? Any closes?
no closes yet, but I've only had pivoted from just trying to get sales calls to trying to create a content library where it's the issue of long COVID is so novel and no one really knows about it and exactly.
Right.
And it's so new, so I was like, let me create some shit. So I've been spending more time just writing stuff and video stuff, blah blah blah. So I put some blogs on my website, and I posted in one of these groups, and then people were I had some I could see the visitors on people were going to my website just from I'm like, oh, this is great. And then someone commented some really nice thing of oh man, this is the first time I've ever read anything that I really resonate with and makes a lot of sense. This is great. Keep doing what you're doing. Awesome. I was like, fuck yeah, that's great. So then that
Nice.
person hit me up on Facebook and was like, oh, I read this thing and blah, blah, blah. It made a lot of sense. Here's my situation. Can you offer any help? So I set up a call with that person today and we talked for a good hour. I didn't make the sale just because she was very much trying to feel me out. She told me, she's like, I really don't trust doctors and everything that the doctors say, I just don't really believe. And then I go to them, and this is shit people say all the time with long COVID. It's you wait 2 months to go see a specialist, and then the specialist sees you for 4 minutes, and they're like, I got nothing for you. Here, have this referral. They don't fucking help at all.
Luckily, I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
That's what I'll be saying.
Right. So we go through all this thing. She gives me her story. I'm giving her some strategies. I'm giving her, and she's just, so then at the end, I was like, do you have any questions for me? And she goes, yeah, I got a couple questions. I'm like, okay. And she goes, what do you think about ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine?
Bing, big bitch.
And I was like, yo, this lady's testing me right now to see how cool I am. For real. She's absolutely testing me. And I said what I actually believe, which is I, as a physical therapist, I don't prescribe drugs. It's not in our workplace at all. But there is a woman who has been treating, she's like a chronic fatigue specialist, which is like long COVID's leaning towards the chronic fatigue avenue. And this woman, like in New York City, like the top chronic fatigue doctor, I've spoken to people that have worked with her, and she's prescribing ivermectin. I've heard of other people taking ivermectin. I don't really know much about it. There's a lot of crazy shit about it in the news. I was like, but if this doctor of 30 years is prescribing it who works in the chronic fatigue world, I'm assuming she knows what the fuck she's doing. That's basically, I didn't curse, obviously, but I said, I assume that she knows what she's doing.
You know plenty about it.
Right. So then she...
You were trying to be chill.
Yeah, I was trying to, of course. I'm not trying to be like, what?
But actually, did you listen to the fucking Joe Rogan episode with the fucking...
Right when she asked me, I was like, well, that's a very slippery slope, my friend. I was like, I don't know how much we want to go into deep depth right now, but I'll leave it at this. And I very much gave like my doctoral opinion versus my podcast opinion. Right. I was like, if you really want to know, go check out my YouTube page.
Dude, the other day.
But then she goes, so I say all that, and she goes, all right, good. I'm just making sure you weren't saying it was a horse dewormer drug.
Oh, nice.
And I was just like, nah, dude, I'm cool.
Pass the test.
Yeah.
Sup, homie.
Still didn't make the sale.
Solid. Still didn't make the sale. If you really went in, she'd have been like, I'm in.
I know.
Actually, you want some? I can get you some right now. Dude, the other day at work, I was... Ooh, watch yourself. The other day at work, I don't even know the context of how ivermectin came up, but I walk into the lunchroom in my office. I'm grabbing water, and they're like, I think it was my grandma and like a couple other people because my grandma works in my office. They're talking about something about COVID. Something about drugs with COVID, and like somebody brings something. I was like, oh yeah, like ivermectin. I just like mentioned it in passing, and then I leave. And there's a woman in my office who is very conspiratorial to a fault. She's like older. She's not in the best shape, and she like refuses to get vaccinated. She's like kind of falls into a category where I would say she's a little reckless in her conspiratoriality, if that's a word.
Is she in Q?
She's right there. Right. Yeah. She's kind of on the fringe there. But she's just like, I like say ivermectin and I leave the cafeteria, like the lunchroom, I shut the door, and her desk is like right there, and she just goes, did you say ivermectin? Like, really? Did you say ivermectin? I was like, not now, girl. Not now. I was like, I was just kidding. I was just talking about it for a second. I gotta go. I got work to do. Like, I couldn't get right. She like looked, she was like, did you say ivermectin? I was like, not like you're thinking about it. We're not doing that right now. Not today.
Yeah. That's exactly where I was.
And
with that person.
I am like, I'll gladly get into it. Okay. All right. Don't patronize me.
Right.
All right.
We know.
I'll gladly get into it, but not at the workplace.
Yeah, exactly.
Not here.
Right, exactly. Like I told her, I was like, listen, if you want to set up another Zoom call where me and you just talk about the current events in the whole world, that's a more interesting conversation we could have. Like, this lady was dying.
Right. I honestly, maybe that's what I should start doing. Like, if people in my office want to talk about it, be like, you should go to my YouTube page. I'm going to start giving out business cards.
I'm going to send you a link.
Yeah, I'm going to start giving out business cards with our fucking channel on it. Oh, wake up, everybody.
Yeah. But it was pretty funny.
That's funny as hell.
So
you passed the test, dude. I'm proud of you. A year ago today, you brutally failed that test.
I would have definitely said horse dewormer drug.
Oh, 1,000%.
Well, dude, honestly, I was gonna not say this, but now I'm gonna add this in again, and because like these are these people's experiences, and I'm like taking this in, and then I'm like, I can't believe where I'm at and what I'm doing right now. So like, as this woman's story goes, like I'm zooming with this person, like I don't think she's lying. It seems like she's having like these people in these groups, like they go to doctors, and then doctors are like, you're full of shit, fuck off. Like, that's a lot of the message they get. Like, a lot of these people in the long COVID world feel like they're just being, like, thrown to the wayside. And it's like, whatever you think long COVID is, like, these people are suffering from something.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, I've been in it with people, so I get that they're actually suffering. So, like, whatever's happening, whatever your experience is, like, I believe you, and let's just, like, get to the bottom of it. That's where I come from.
They're experiencing something. They just don't necessarily know why they're experiencing it or what they're experiencing.
Yeah, and, like, a lot of doctors are telling them it's like, that's in your head or we don't believe you. So, like, this woman's, the story that this woman told me was she had COVID in, like, December, was, like, kind of okay, was dealing with like some headaches, but like nothing too crazy for like 3 or 4 months. And then in April, got the vaccine because she was mandated to by her job. And then the next day had like severe vertigo, and like she would try and like take like a sip of water and was like vomiting profusely for like 3 or 4 days. So like had like a serious, and we know people that have had side effects from COVID, from like throwing up, and we know
the vaccine or from
the vaccine.
right.
We know this.
Yeah.
It's nothing new.
It's nothing new.
So I told her, I literally was like, yeah, like she was like, so do you believe that? And I was just like, yeah.
I believe
I was
that
like,
more
sure.
than the fucking long COVID shit.
I was like, sure, yeah, like
No
I
doubt.
think that's legit. And she's like, I've told that to doctors before, and they like are telling me that it's just a coincidence, like it has nothing to do with the vaccine. And I was like, well, honestly, I've had coworkers take the vaccine, and the next day they call out, they got body aches, they got fever, they got chill. I've heard of someone throwing up before, so like I think that's a perfectly legitimate thing to have happened. And just giving her that alone, this woman was just like, thank you. And I was just like, that was pretty simple, Dill. Still didn't make the sale, but hey, you're on to something.
Well, you're definitely onto something.
Yeah.
And isn't it a problem that that's like a shocking response from a doctor to somebody? Like, what are these doctors doing? They're just like, nah.
That can't be it.
Because even if
full
it
of
is
shit.
in your head, even if it is something that's like psycho, whatever the word is, psycho something, it's like psycho related.
Yeah.
Like psycho related is definitely not the way to say it.
Right.
But you know what I'm trying to say. Even if it is something like that, like as a doctor, like you always push bedside manner being like very important. You can't just tell somebody to their face like, here, it's in your head.
Right.
Get out of here.
Right.
What the fuck? How is anybody winning there?
Bad messaging there.
Yeah. Like.
So it's just interesting to me being in the position I am where I'm almost like, this person's like testing me of like, what do you think about ivermectin? Like looking to see if I'm like a CNN doctor. You know what I mean? Because like all this woman
you're
doesn't
Dr.
trust doctors.
O'Fringe, dude. Dr. O'Fringe. How you doing? Here for business. Knock twice.
I'm an
for
internet doctor. How you doing?
Knock twice for Dr. O'Keefe. Knock 3 times for Dr. Fringe. Don't fuck it up. The code word is ivermectin.
But yeah, so it's just interesting, man. I'm
It's
just
very
taking in
interesting.
so many people's stories about this, and it's a problem in this
Well,
world.
well, it's crazy. You got people's stories that are obviously legit, and then you have like the media doesn't cite legit stories. Like you'll never see like a story like that, like highlighted on like the news. You'll hear something that happened, or you won't even hear something that happened. You'll just hear like somebody give you information that just contradicts that person's experience is like legitimate.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even dude, and I don't know if you want
It's
to
weird.
get into
Like
this
I
yet.
feel like this weird like naughtiness in me where we're both. I'm like, ooh, we're not supposed. I'm like, no, this woman. This happened to her.
Dude, do you feel
We're
like
just trying to help. That's all I want to do.
well, it's a naughtiness, but it's also like I feel when these topics come up around me, I feel like a vibration in me where that's so dramatic, but like I feel this like nerves where I'm like, all right, I know what my response is going to be if I'm like interjected into this conversation. I just don't know where these people are at as far as the information that I'm going to throw into this conversation.
Right.
So like even like my tone about things, sometimes I get like kind of where I'm like, I don't know if I could even like talk on this because my tone is just going to set someone off. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You really don't know who you're talking to
Yeah.
or what they're watching or what they're listening to. Like when we talk to people that listen to the shit that we listen to, it's like very easy.
It's simple.
It's a great conversation. It's
But
very
you get someone
open.
in the outside world, and it's like, oh, there's so many things I like. I'm not even myself right now.
Right. I'm
You can't handle me.
I'm
And
such a
it's-
vanilla version of me.
Yeah.
Not to disrespect vanilla, it's the best ice cream flavor there is, but like I'm very much a vanilla
Dude,
guy
so
around
speaking
this.
of vanilla ice cream, and even Haagen-Dazs, your favorite type, Joe's
Das
favorite,
Hagen?
your favorite type of ice cream. So on Sunday,
Haagen-Dazs vanilla bean.
Yeah,
To
exactly.
be exact. Yeah.
so on Sunday night, I had an improv show. Sunday night improv, like not a
mean,
great time slot.
I'm
not a great time
gonna say
slot.
no one went.
I had a good time. There was like probably 25, 30 people in the crowd.
That's too many.
It was a lot of like people in the community though. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
It's besides the point though.
Right.
So I haven't done an improv show in forever. It was a good show. Got some laughs. Was like, oh fuck yeah, it's Sunday night. Like I'm rolling around. I called you, smoked a little J. I was like, I'm gonna get a little treat for myself. So I was like, should I get some pizza? And I was like, nah, I'm gonna go get some. I was in Penn Station. I was like, I want a little treat before I get on the subway. So I'm walking past the Haagen-Dazs in the. Do you know that?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know that
Yes.
specific one where there's usually in Penn Station? If you've never been in Penn Station before, there's like a strip of stores where there's like pizza places, Starbucks, blah blah blah. The Haagen-Dazs though is very off the beaten track, and in a singular hallway. It's the only thing. It's
Yeah.
probably Sunday about like. Now I stayed for a couple shows, so it was like 11 o'clock on a Sunday night.
You know why I know where that is? Because there's
'Cause
that
it's
one, there's the
electric.
there's the Haagen-Dazs, and then there's the Auntie Anne's. That's also a standalone, alone thing where I get my
Yes.
cinnamon pretzels.
Right.
And I fucking love cinnamon
Auntie
pretzels.
Anne's, yeah,
and I
they're
love some vanilla bean.
Exactly.
Those are my two spots.
So I was like, I'm getting some ice cream, no doubt. I roll up to this. I'm rolling up to the Haagen-Dazs, and there is a heroin guy who is so passed out.
guy.
He is so fucking passed out, dude. But he was like dressed nice too. Like, remember that one time I passed out in the streets in New York and someone woke me up and was like, "Sir, you don't look homeless." Like, it was one of those situations
Yeah.
where I was like, "This guy's on heroin for sure," but like, he might have an okay job.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Also, by the way, really quick, back to that. What a racially charged interaction you had asleep.
What do you mean?
What? You don't look homeless because you're like a chubby white kid? What? There's not chubby white homeless people? What the fuck was that about?
A lot of them.
You're no longer chubby.
I
This
think
is
I was.
past
I was
now.
also wearing Ralph Lauren.
You
I
don't
was
know
wearing-
how recently you
I
were
was,
homeless.
I
You
was
could have
wearing
just
an
gotten
orange
homeless.
pastel Ralph Lauren shirt.
You could have, like I said, you could have
I
just
did.
become
I
homeless.
ruined that shirt that night.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
But this dude was sleeping like on his back, not even like tucked away. Like he was like sleeping on his back, and his knee was like bent backward.
Not even in a comfortable
yeah, like
position.
That, yeah, that's
like
how
he
you
was
know
a
he was
chalk
fucked
cutout
up.
of someone who jumped
like,
out
he
of
was
a building.
Fucked up. Like
Yeah.
no one could sleep like this unless you're fucked up. And he's sleeping there, and I'm like, all right, like I gotta get. It's 11 o'clock. He's sitting in front of the Haagen-Dazs. Who comes up? The cutest little woman, Fatima. Fatima Haagen-Dazs. Haagen-Dazs Fatima. You know?
Was that her?
No, she's the Haagen-Dazs Fatima. You know what I mean?
she's that's her. Can you just say Fatima? Why do you say Fatima? Like why are you making it all accenty?
That was her name.
Fatima?
No, her
She's
name, she said
Fatima? Is that how
Fatima.
she?
She said
Okay,
it like
so
that.
you're just mimicking her accent?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Whatever. She was cute.
weird.
And she was.
Seems
I was
cute.
like, oh, I can't. She's like, could you believe it was 11 o'clock on a Sunday in Penn Station? She's working in a Haagen-Dazs, and I'm like. can I get some vanilla ice cream? And she's like, could you believe like this? And I'm just like, I feel so bad for you that this is your workplace. So public service announcement, next time you're sitting at your job and you're having a bad time, I want you to think of Penn Station Haagen-Dazs Fatima, who's working the graveyard shift on a Sunday night in the middle of Penn Station with a heroin guy sleeping right outside her front step.
You know, I don't think about enough how little I encounter heroin addicts at my job. Like,
Right.
I really never. It never.
You think you
crosses
got
my
it
mind.
bad, bro?
Right.
She's slinging ice cream with dead Charles in front of her.
Dead? Yeah. I mean, possibly. So I hope he was alive, but I also I don't know,
He didn't. I don't. He didn't look like he had a pulse.
They rarely do, dude. When we went to that Tim Dillon show, which by the way was awesome.
Yeah.
For my Dylan, well, he didn't actually buy it for my birthday.
Yes,
but
he did.
No, you had the tickets, and then you gave me one for my birthday. Like you had the tickets regardless. Something,
No,
right?
I was gonna get you a birthday present. Then these tickets fell into my lap.
They fell into
And
your
then
lap,
I was
right.
like,
Somebody
perfect
gave them to
birthday.
you, or
but I
sold
think
them
I
to
was
you.
looking for tickets. They were sold out for your birthday, and then I got the tickets.
I'm not judging the way you got my birthday present.
Right.
I loved it.
It was a great
It
time.
was a great show. But I get, I took the, I believe I, did I drive there? Whatever. I drove and I parked in a parking garage, walk out of the parking garage, and it was like 5 p.m. on a summer day. Like it was bright, broad daylight in the city near Times Square. And there's just like a group of 5 skinny white homeless people just shooting up heroin, broad day, corner of like 42nd and whatever, like at the corner, broad daylight, people walking
Stephen
over.
Colbert show in the
stepping over.
background.
Literally,
People
there's
are-
Radio City right there, and they're just like, bro, oh, it's sunny out today. Like it was, I was like, you're not even behind like a little board. Usually they do they got the little like cardboard box.
Yeah.
They don't even give a fuck anymore.
Dude, I told you about the time. Like this was more during like COVID. It wasn't like I don't think we were on lockdown anymore because I had my new job, but it was still like very weird. It's there's definitely more people now, but it was like very weird. And I was around election time, and I was right near Trump Tower because that's where my office is, and I always like walk around and shit. And there's a Rolex store like right across from where the Trump Tower is. And there was I'm looking at Rolex, I'm like, oh sweet, like Rolex store. And I look down, and there's a homeless guy, like a hairy homeless man, just taking one of the most aggressive dumps I've ever seen in my whole life. He's just like squatted in front of the Rolex, just like taking a heater, bro. Heater.
That was a fuck the
I was
establishment
like,
shit.
I need to take a picture of this, but I feel like this guy's gonna grab a load of his shit and launch it at me, and then I'm gonna be covered in shit.
Yeah, he's gonna monkey poop you for sure. He's gonna monkey poop you. Frankie, remember that time we were on we were doing like a vlog episode at one of my clients, and we drove into the Bronx, and that guy was like taking a shit, or was he jerking off? Remember that guy? You don't remember there was such a dramatic experience. You don't remember that?
Remember if he was jerking off or shit?
Well, because you were in the car. We left you in the car. You don't remember that whole thing? whatever. We went to the Bronx and then we pulled up and there was this guy sitting on like a bucket, like
Right.
very homeless, very drugged out, like one tooth, like he barely spoke. He was just making like noises and groans and shit. And his pants were definitely down. I assumed he was shitting. I'm pretty sure he was shitting. I don't know. I forget I think he was jerking off or shitting, whatever. He was doing some sort of bodily function that wasn't supposed to be done in public, right in front of my client's like office. It was kind of nasty, but dude, you're just bringing up the election. Like the election's gonna be wild.
Oh.
This next I know you just brought it up and it just triggered my brain. Like with what we were talking about last week with like 2 different literal pools of reality. Going to be really interesting to see those 2 pools of reality just like arguing with each other.
Right.
Like how could they?
Where's the people from our reality?
Right.
We comboed them.
We did combo 'em.
We put a combo.
Dude, we're kind of on the Russell Brand train of like
Love it.
politics because I just watched him say some shit at the end of one of his. I guess he says it on a lot of his videos where he doesn't believe in like a party democracy with like Republicans and Democrats. He just believes in true democracy, like the people have the power type of a thing. Obviously, that's where we lie. Like,
love that.
Couldn't agree fucking more.
So well said.
Has anything just divided our country like fucking political parties?
Right.
I mean, it's the definition of division.
Right.
You know? So, but this year in particular, or this next big election in particular, it's going to be wild to see like presidential candidates arguing about different pools of information that are both supposedly true, because you have like the government backing one pool of information, then like common sense kind of backing another one, but also not really. They're both kind of lies. It's going to be very wild.
It is going to be very wild.
It's going to be crazy. And dude, like this whole Gavin Newsom thing, I don't know if you want to start getting into some stuff.
Yeah.
So this whole Gavin Newsom thing, it kind of got me also thinking about the election, because Gavin Newsom gets the COVID booster shot on October 27th, disappears for three weeks till like 2 days ago, just shows up and not a word about anything, shows up. And he gives like he had like a press conference or whatever. Literally the first question, they asked him point blank, like, where you been, dude? Like, what the fuck you been? And he's just like, oh, it's a good question. And he just starts talking about nonsense, whatever. But
when I was watching him speak about that, so as the story goes, Gavin Newsom like just disappears for 2 weeks and no one really sees him. He cancels. He was supposed to go to Scotland, but he canceled that trip for like the UN, some like global summit for climate change.
Right.
He cancels it. His wife tweets out something along the way where it's like,
well, he canceled all of his public engagements.
Right.
And then she tweeted, I have the tweet. Frankie, I sent you the tweet, and I could pull it up right here and just read it, actually.
Right.
But I was going to say put it up on the screen. Yeah, so she tweets on this. You got it?
That's why you number it, though.
Well, it's in the Gavin Newsom thing. It's the last one. It's number 5. Hold on, let me just wait till we get it up. What's the rush? What's the rush? We're always in such a rush, and nowadays. No, we can't see anything. The TV's off.
You look good, by the way, today.
Thanks.
You get a haircut?
I did get a haircut
You
today.
really needed that compliment. What the hell?
No, dude, no, because I'm cracking up because
You're like, thank you so much. You noticed.
Every time
like, chill, dude.
No, because every time I'm going to explain why. That was what my other story was from the beginning.
Relax.
Every time I get like my clothes ready for the episode, I got to bring like a change of clothes. I always forget what I wore the week before. I wore these pants last week. I wore a gray shirt, but I wore another denim pullover, really? So I'm basically wearing the same outfit. So I was kind of laughing.
You look good.
Thanks, bro.
Fucking weirdo.
Just give a compliment and then don't take it away with like an insult. Like, what the fuck was that about?
Don't accept it so weirdly.
I liked it. It felt good. I don't compliment you because I'm afraid you're gonna react like this. Anyway, so Gavin Newsom's wife. What? Gavin Newsom's wife tweets, "It's funny how certain folks can't handle truth. When someone cancels something, maybe they're just in the office working. Maybe in their free time, they're at home with their family, at their kids' sporting matches, or dining out with their wife. Please stop hating and get a life." And then deletes it like 2 hours later.
She deleted it, which is just weird.
Why would you delete such a thing? Your
'Cause
husband,
if anything, it's, that's a cookie crumb.
bro, he's the governor of California. He got a COVID booster shot and then immediately cancels all his shit and doesn't say a word about anything. And then just says he has family obligations.
It's a little sus.
It's sus.
It's a little sus.
In a world with all this misinformation and disinformation, like misconstrued shit and conspiratorial shit, you're telling me
You're fueling the flame.
You're fucking kerosene on the fucking flame. Like all you have to do is like a little selfie here,
Yeah.
little hey how you doing here,
Yeah.
little like here moon the fucking out the window here.
Right.
All you had to do was literally sneeze in public one time,
Right.
and nobody would have said this. This wouldn't have even been a topic. Nobody is not in public for 1 second in a 3-week span. Like
Right.
it's never happened once.
I don't think Gavin Newsom, through this whole time, that's never happened.
Never.
It just so happened to be after the booster shot. Had no shot had anything to do with the booster shot.
Oh,
No
could
shot.
no
shot.
way.
No
It
way.
couldn't have.
No
How,
shit, couldn't
dude, how could
have.
it?
How could've?
Because the vaccine's perfectly 100%
There's
safe.
no.
There's no
I didn't
side
just tell a
effects.
story where I talked to someone firsthand who told me they had a problem. I didn't tell you that.
No, you never did that. And
didn't
you
do that.
definitely didn't tell another one last week.
I would never.
No, you would never do that because you're not a liar.
I am a communist.
You're a communist and you are not a disinformationist.
I'm a loyal person to the party. Okay?
Exactly. You're loyal to the party. It's what you are. You're
Yeah.
loyal to the party.
Yeah.
It's great that you do that you don't lie.
So Gavin Newsom comes on and does like a little presser, and
Brayden, can you pull that up? Get that ready too.
he does this presser that it's just crazy to me where I'm like, all right, the whole thing. He's like, oh, like I was with my kids and I just wanted to spend time with my kids because my kids, they told me, they sat me down. They're like, Dad, we haven't seen you in so long. How are you not going to be here for Halloween? So I had to hang out with my kids. And I was really in the office the whole time, actually. I was in the office. I was working in the office with everyone there. And this whole time I was just in the office. And then 2 weeks goes by and I realize everyone's talking about me, saying that I'm disappeared, but I've been in the office the whole time. And I'm like, bro, what?
Dude,
The fuck,
And in the
dude?
middle of that whole thing, he mentions, he's like, I was with my team, like pretty much every day I was with my team. Well, quite literally every day I was with my team. And then he looks over to his team, he's like, I was with you guys every day. And then he like goes back in the crowd. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What are you fucking doing? Wait, by the way, I have 2 versions of this clip. This is the regular one, and then I have the Jimmy Dore one. Let's just watch the regular one.
Yeah, let's just
straight
watch.
up.
We don't need Jimmy Dore.
But,
as you said last week, this isn't the Jimmy Dore show.
Right, this ain't the Jimmy Dore show.
He's our homie, but
Right, but the one thing I want you to fucking note here, I'll bring it up after. Fucking play the clip.
You since October 27th answering questions, and I know you
What
missed
day
us.
is it today? I'm just trying to
Yeah,
get.
I know you missed
Been
us.
Fucking
been a week.
politician.
I'm wondering though, do you think that if I think there's a lot of parents that could totally relate to what you said
you pause this
about
for a second?
spending time with your
His eyes and like his facial expressions, the man knows he's on camera. You know when someone knows they're on camera, they're just like,
yeah, one of these. Before he did that, he absolutely went, it's go time, Gavin.
listen, I'll
You
give this
got
to
this
him.
shit.
I'll give this to him. I hate this guy, but he is one handsome son of a
He is a
bitch.
handsome motherfucker.
He
for
cleans
sure.
up real well.
He does.
He's got a great neck. Look at that neck.
He's a good-looking dude.
He's a
no
good-looking
doubt.
guy, great hair, but fuck this guy. Now continue.
family for Halloween. Do you think that, or do you wish that you would have maybe said that first, more explicitly? And do you think
that I wanted to spend time with my family.
Yeah, I mean,
Are you attacking my family?
And Alex, forgive me for cutting you off. I put out a statement saying I wanted to spend time with my family, so we actually put that out.
Well, it said family obligations. Yeah.
Well, I
But,
don't know
mean,
if it's
but
an
do-
obligation to spend time with your kids, but my wife, who's been spending a great deal of time, disproportionate amount of time with the challenge of having a spouse.
He's like, I can't
battling
get too loud.
recalls,
I've been coughing
crisis
for
to
3
crisis.
weeks.
It was spending
It's like
time
I'm
with
very
her
faint right now.
and the kids, and we put out a statement accordingly.
Do you think that this has changed the way you think about the way that information gets out in this social media age? And sometimes when there's a lack of information, what happens? Has it changed the way you think about communicating at all?
I don't know. I was sort of bewildered. I drove into the
He
office
sounds
every
like
single
Clinton
day,
when he
Yeah.
was just
into
bullshit.
the Capitol, walked the halls of the Capitol with my kids, spending time with my team, quite literally every single day, in my office, and I didn't see a lot of other folks.
Pause it.
And
I didn't see a lot of other folks. What does that even mean? What do you mean you didn't see anybody? Not one person could have confirmed your like location.
Aren't,
They're like, oh, I was
like
working with
press,
them yesterday.
aren't press like there all the time looking for him and
They're
shit?
fucking kicking the door down. Are
Right.
you kidding me? It's the middle of a pandemic. You're in the most liberal state in the fucking country, and nobody's fucking looking for you. What are you talking about? Continue.
then I start seeing some things bubble up on social media. Where's the governor? I'm like, wait a second. I'm at work. I'm doing work. I'm doing budgets. I'm doing work on port. We put out a number of statements about the work we were doing last week.
Numbers, Excel, spreadsheets.
Straight from the
I
hospital.
don't know. I think what we're experiencing is remarkable mis- and disinformation campaigns that are going on across the spectrum in this country.
Pause.
I think
Now watch. No. We're going to keep going. But now watch as he starts talking about a whole bunch of ridiculous shit.
This notion of vaccination misinformation is pretty well defined and documented, and it's alive and well in this case. It's just rather extraordinary. And so I think it's a good question. I think it's a question for all of us. It's a question in your industry. It's a question in mine and in whatever professional endeavor. How we push back against lies, misinformation, intentional and otherwise. And it's hard. It's a fire hose. And if you want to go down that rabbit hole of conspiracies and the like, it's a challenge. And that's nothing to do with
You can pause it if you want.
the governor.
Can I say something?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, there I am. Hey.
Hey,
That
was cool.
It's just funny to me because disinformation existed always, right?
Always.
And that was
from the FBI and the CIA.
Exactly.
Directly.
Like, correct me if I'm wrong. So disinformation is when, like, Russia or another country peddles in fake information that tries to get us to, believe
Hate each
nonsense and hate each other. Okay. Disinformation. Misinformation. When did it come around? This year?
Right.
By who? YouTube?
Yeah, what? Fucking
And it basically tells you that
Twitter decided that this was misinformation, that was misinformation, or you're just not being transparent.
But it's like the term is so broad, and it's just like, oh, it's either something that might be correct, but we don't believe you, or it's just
Dude,
like,
it's
I don't
like
understand.
you know what it's like.
It's just
It's just like the race card has been the last couple of years. You could always just say, if you're in an argument, you're losing, you're being racist. Like, you could just throw that in there. If you're arguing with somebody about something like this, you just be like, oh, it's fucking misinformation. Right. Like, it's like a trigger where you just lose the argument.
I would say anything that's not politically correct is misinformation.
Right.
Anything that is not politically correct is misinformation.
I
but
should
it's
get
like,
it tattooed across my fucking head then.
Some things that aren't politically correct. Politically correct? We're in a very politically fucked up world.
We'll
so if it's correct politically, it's got to be off.
And we'll get into politically correctness later on. And,
I don't think we have to.
There's more that I want to go into real quick.
Governor's office. It's much more profound than that all across this country. And obviously, we're seeing misinformation weaponized, notably from former President of the United States.
It always comes back to Trump.
And how a jaw-dropping number of Republicans believe it.
Like, bro, your ex-wife is dating the son.
Very direct assault.
Shut the fuck up.
Wait, he was married to
safety of vaccines.
Wow.
It's alarming what's going on with that misinformation. So I think that's a very good question. It's a deeper question.
All right, pause.
Than
So let's just get this straight really quick, break it down. He was asked, do you feel like, you being gone for this much time without saying one word and letting these conspiracy theories flourish has changed the way you think about information? And he answered about a bunch of shit and somehow got around to the big lie. Somehow he's like, oh, fucking no, there's misinformation. I had nothing to do with it. You're all fucking stupid. And now we're back at Trump is fucking terrible. And you look what he did. He fucking started it. It's like, you're fucking crazy. You asshole. What are you kidding me? Oh my God.
It's
someone's lying when they're just fucking didn't shut up.
The problem with
talking.
me, what I was thinking about when I was watching that, I was like, all right, I watched it through Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore's breaking it down. He's like, he just broke it down in a way. It was like, this dude's definitely fucking lying and has been caught lying and the thing. He's just had such a track record that's just so suspect in so many different ways. And I'm like, dude, I got to start lying more. I don't lie enough.
No,
I tell the truth way too often.
You used to lie a ton.
I know, but I stopped.
Yeah, thank God.
I got to go back.
It was so stressful.
I really got to go back.
Can you just lie to others? Can we keep a truth circle here?
What did I lie to you about?
I don't know. You're always on the fringe, on the fence of I could never tell. You're always selling me on something. There was elements of truth, but there was elements of bullshit. It was always very confusing.
I was always selling you to
go
out and party.
6 feet of snow. It's not that bad. Nobody It's not that bad. It's always some bullshit. You're always twisting something.
It was always the party, though.
I was
always lying to party.
Yeah, but you don't party anymore, so what's it going to be now, man? It's going to be for what?
That's what I'm saying. I got to come up with something good.
You're going to fucking lie me out of my fucking fortunes and money and all my opportunities.
I'm not going to attack you. I'm just trying to say, I'm really leaving myself open in this world that's full of lies.
Okay.
I'd like to think, though, that the truth shall set you free. You know what I mean? I'm just living my truth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Live your fucking truth.
I'm living my truth. I'm trying, but it's exhausting. It's easier lying.
It's way easier.
So much easier
Yeah, but
lying.
think about how easier, I was gonna say, think about how much easier it is to go to sleep. It's honestly harder. Now that I'm just being honest about shit, it's impossible to go to sleep.
No,
Anxious
dude.
about everything.
I actually, no, now that you bring sleep into the equation, I will say that truth is the way, because like, you ever just be like, I haven't had this in a while, but like, you're just like caught up in some crazy fucking lie, and you're like going to bed and you're just like, how is this gonna, I'm gonna fuck this up. I'm gonna fuck this up, and you like don't sleep over it. I don't have that problem anymore, so actually I take all the things I said back. I'm gonna keep telling the truth.
Right, yeah.
Because that ain't
you're
worth
right.
it. It
No,
ain't worth it.
that's not worth
when
it.
it's just like weeks of lies have like built up to like, it's somehow gonna all come crashing down.
Right.
That is not good for your REM cycle.
And when someone calls you out on lying, nothing worse. If you get called out, you know you're lying. Like if you're being honest and someone shits on you because they think your like honest view is like fucked up, you could live with that because you're like, I could work on that.
Right.
That's me. But if you lie and someone calls you out and you're a bad person now because you lied, and then the thing you lied about is probably not a great thing either.
Yeah.
Oh, not good.
I really used to lie a lot, and I really
you
don't
did.
lie at all anymore.
Thank God.
It's good. It's good
it is
shit.
good.
It is good shit.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's exhausting in a world where everyone else is lying all the time.
Yeah, you don't lie anymore, really. At least, or you're really good at it.
Haha. Oh. This is all part of the play, baby.
Oh my God. But shit. Well, I mean, honestly, I kind of want to break that into China real quick.
Okay.
So, as far as the politically correct shit that we were just talking about, there's a Chinese dissident, which, by the way, I had to look up the term dissident. It means someone who like opposes the theories of. So this guy opposes the ideology of China. His name is Ai Weiwei. He's a Chinese artist, and he opposes China. So this is he had an interview with PBS where he essentially compares American and Chinese like government shit, and he's basically saying that we're on a track to being just like China in an authoritarian state. And he's more directly asked, the question that gets them into the conversation is, he's asked about, because he made a comment about the Chinese president's like, I guess he has not tweets, but he would have direct communication with the people, like late night, where it would be like his actual thoughts.
Late night with Xi Jinping?
Exactly. It was actually a fire show. It actually probably would be pretty entertaining to watch. But she asked
Bring in
him,
the dancing lobsters.
right, and he compared it to Trump's like tweets, his Twitter rampages that he was going, because it was his direct communication to like his following. And she asked him like, so are you saying that Trump is an authoritarian? And he was just kind of like, it's not what I'm saying. And then he kind of gets into some more detail. So let's play that real quick.
In your book, you're describing the directives of Mao Zedong during the Cultural Revolution that would be distributed publicly every night.
There you go. It wasn't a radio
And
show.
then you write, this is your quote, they served a function similar to Donald Trump's late night tweets while in office. They were the direct communication of a leader's thoughts to his devoted followers, enhancing the sanctity of his authority. So, do you see Donald Trump as an authoritarian?
I don't, if you're authoritarian, you have to have a system in supporting you. You cannot just be authoritarian by yourself. But certainly in United States, with today's condition, you can easily have an authoritarian. In many ways, you're already in the authoritarian state. You just don't know it.
How so?
Pause.
Many
Her face, when she like responds, is like, huh? What's up? Like,
Do you think she was expecting that, or she wasn't expecting that?
No, definitely not.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The next time you see her face, Frankie, pause it on her face again.
Since happens today in U.S. can be compared to Cultural Revolution in China.
That way, play it, and then pause it at
Like
the end.
what?
Like she's like shocked.
Like
what?
She's hurting.
People trying to be unified in certain political correctness. That is very dangerous. You want to go deeper?
No, yeah, because actually that was the next thing I was going to ask you about. So what kind of political correct extremism?
It's very philosophical. With today's technology, we know so much more than we really understand. The information becomes jammed, but we don't really have the knowledge because you don't work. You don't have to act on anything. You just think you're purified by certain ideas. You agree with it.
Pause.
That's
pretty much the end, right there, where he says.
I'm really liking Ai Weiwei.
Ai Weiwei is the baller.
Ai Weiwei is a baller. He doesn't have anything else to say. I was really.
He might have a little bit more. It kind of trails off here, but you can play the rest of that if you want. Let's see what he has to say.
It is posing dangers to society, to extreme, divided society.
Why do you think that's happened here?
I think for a long time, the West material, we have much more than we needed. And we are not caring about global situation. But that eventually, all the policies and the politics we play has to be examined under the global situation, such as China become a very powerful state.
So,
Ai Weiwei is the dog.
Ai Weiwei is the dog. What was that before we just played that last clip, that last little bit? What
it was about political correctness, and he was saying that we're moving in a way where you're already kind of in the authoritarian state because of the...
Right. He basically described virtue signaling, where he was like, you don't have to actually be a part of anything or act on anything. You just feel pure and like you're right and better than everybody else because of a certain group of ideas that you believe.
That is liberal ideology,
right?
I would say.
Liberal, like the mainstream narrative is what he's referring to, and that is
if you believe these things, you are a good person no matter what.
Right, and if you people compare, the left and what's going on right now to socialism and communism for the reason that compare it to China. Like in China, they're a one-party communist state, right? And they have one narrative. If you don't agree with it, it's like, or even look at North Korea. Like if you don't agree with that, I mean, you're done. Yeah. You don't really have that choice.
I think you're done to begin with, but yeah.
Right? So you're done to begin with North Korea. It's a little stronger. But with China, if you're kind of against the party, you got nowhere to go, and you're not having support by the government. You're probably going to get fucked. Like here, where we're living in.
Hong Kong was like a democratic state. I think they were protesting and being like, yo, we're going to be democratic. We have our own views. It was a younger generation. And then the police came in and just fucked them all up.
Nah, yeah. Exactly. So here, right now in America, we're right there where it's all right, you're not going to get pulled out of your home yet. But
you'll get fired from your job.
You'll get fired from your job. If you're not vaccinated, if you're not
canceled.
this.
If you don't believe this, you say that, you get canceled.
Right, you get canceled. You went blackface 12 years ago at a fucking Halloween party when it was 1997, and all of a sudden now you're canceled.
Unless you're Jimmy Kimmel.
Unless you're Jimmy Kimmel and you fucking suck the blood of fucking children or whatever he does to stay in the fucking Hollywood circle, that man. Not to get back into those conspiracies. But for real, there is that element of authoritarianism where all right, it doesn't look like a dictator, dictated regime, but it behaves like it in a lot of ways.
Right. Well, I think it's the thing you were talking about where when you start getting into a conversation with people and the conversation's all going one way, and I feel I'm starting to feel like my set of facts are going to be a problem.
Right.
That shouldn't be a thing. I shouldn't have to feel that closed off to a whole group of people. For example, I'll even say this right now. So at the improv theater that I do things at, it's very, very liberal, and I was just hanging out with people, and I feel as I'm talking with people, I'm absolutely walking on eggshells.
Oh, yeah.
And that could just be in my head, but no,
it's not in your head, bro. That was how I felt with you for a full year.
I'm quite literally the only, actually, no, that's not true. I was going to say the only straight white male. But
you're probably one of 5.
There are some others in there. But it's I very much, if they knew what this was, it would be a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It would be a problem. And it's not like I'm trying to tell them that they're wrong. I think it's the Russell Brand thing where it's yo, you can believe all those things for sure. But you're also ignoring a large set of facts that have all been completely categorized as misinformation and conspiratorial. And no doubt, if you go far enough to the lizard people, you've gone too far. You got to pull back. You know what I mean?
Right.
That lady in your office that you said ivermectin, and she was effing at that thought.
Oh,
you know
for
what I mean?
sure. She's thinking about reptilians
Exactly.
15% of the day.
There's
minimum.
like the spectrum there, but the spectrum leans so far, literally left, that like the workplace is like that. You got to act like this in the workplace. Corporate. You got to put your pronouns in or else you're fucked. And then
Right.
it's like, you got to do the corporate trainings. You got to do the thing. Like, you got to buy in. If you don't buy in, you can't, like, this is where we're here now. And it's like, I'm fine with those ideas, but don't jam them down my fucking throat.
Right, bro. Exactly. Don't
I'm
jam down
fine
my
with
throat.
it. Like, I don't have any problems with it. It's like, yo, I hear all that struggle. I hear it all. But it's like, we're all not just gonna, I don't know, like, we're not all just gonna, like, walk around with, like,
Oh, no.
no, fuck that. I'm not
Well,
saying.
dude, the spectrum goes both ways. There's a spectrum on either side. And, like, I have no problem if you believe that whatever the mainstream narrative, if that's what you like truly believe, that's cool. But you can't look at like a set of facts, like you said, that we happen to look at pretty intensely. You can't look at someone who's looking at those facts and considering them and like hate them or think they're fucking crazy or stupid without like looking at it yourself.
Right.
Like you can't just blindly be like, ugh. Like I mean, I'm gonna bring up a pretty specific incident that me and you were in one time. Remember that party we went to on Avenue C? That time where everybody was on mushrooms?
Yeah.
And we felt like the fucking odd men out. It was like a super liberal party, and everybody was like just talking like liberal politics, and me and you were looking at each other like, ah, shit.
I quite literally, every single word that was coming out of my mouth, I was calculating.
Everyone.
And I did say like one thing wrong, and then like I got pounced on. It was
Right.
like, we walked into the den, dude.
The den.
The teeth were out.
We were in the fucking Oval Office.
There was like
It
an RBG poster that was like the notorious RBG. So it was like Biggie Smalls, but it was Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the. I'm like, that's dope. Like,
There
cool.
was like
you want it?
Go Joe, like Yay Joe
Right.
poster. There was a Fuck Donald Trump poster. It was like a
Everywhere.
very specific. There was like 9 of them. I was like,
There were like newspaper clippings from like different times, like cut out and put on the wall.
it was cold.
The strings were attached to them, like putting it all together.
Remember how cold it was out there that day? And I was like dabbing my forehead. I was just sitting on the couch. I was like, oh my God, I can't talk this whole
Right.
time. So that type of energy and shouldn't exist on either side. Like, I'm not going to judge you for thinking those things.
Right.
But you're already judging me for
I
thinking these
walked
things.
in
So
here
then I'm
and I'm
like,
getting
fuck
judged,
you.
yeah.
I'm walking in here getting judged everywhere I fucking go. So and now I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. You're a fuck. I'm not talking to you no more.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's not fun. I don't want to be like that because I don't feel like that.
Right.
You know, you can believe whatever you want. Just like acknowledge facts is all.
Sure.
Just acknowledge the truth. Like if things are true and factual and validated, you shouldn't just be like, that's not true because this group of people thinks it. Like, it's a fact. It's just the way it is.
They just don't buy it, though. They don't buy it.
They don't buy what?
I do think
The
it's
facts?
changing. Though.
Like, that's
I do think
crazy.
it's changing. I've been seeing a lot of things saying things along the line of like the Dems are losing normal people. So
They
that's
are.
why I think this next election is going to be super interesting because it's like this past election, like I was in a certain place politically that I'm in a very different place now. And the things that I felt and believed in then, I still believe in now. It's just like it's the story has developed.
Yeah.
There's other things I'm weighing in. I'm like, all right, like, yeah, maybe I haven't been so keen to the struggle of like a black trans person. We should make sure those people are good, but like your boy also has to work and like make a living, and like every single moment of my day can't be to make sure that like the LGBTQ community is like coming. I'm like, I gotta go to work.
Right.
You know what I mean? I gotta make money.
You can't just be an activist 24/7.
I can't be an activist 24/7. I believe that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I want everybody to have their fucking rights and live their life and be happy.
Right.
But like it's not on us to be an activist at all hours of the day. And like you can't be expected to.
And there are other issues that go into society.
There's other issues that go into society that are like as far as a society as a whole, they're sort of more important at times, like where you have to think about those things.
Right.
And that happens when you're voting a lot of the
Right.
times. Like the economy, whether you like it or not, pretty fucking important. It's pretty shitty right now. How's it feeling? Not great.
Not great.
fucking great.
Not great.
You want to go pay $97 for a fucking hamburger? That's cool. You can do it. I'm fucking not pumped about it. So
I'm not
like,
pumped.
So like, unfortunately, when you're voting, it's not all fucking sunshine and rainbows and I want these people to be happy. Like, actually listen to what's being said. Like, there's good ideas all over the place, man. And you know, there's more to take into consideration. But I feel like during COVID, we were put in this scenario where everybody had so much time and they were all home and everybody, where it was like you were expected to be an activist all the time. We were there. We did that for a while. And it's like, that's not realistic. Did you just cough or laugh? We kind of did, though. We did do that. And it's like, all right, I do agree with all those things, but like, that's not reality. Like, I'm not going to be able to think like that all day because I won't be able to do anything else.
Right.
Because it's very emotionally taxing.
Right.
And like, I'm here for you. I get it. But like, if you're making that about everything you say every day forever, if that's going to be it, I can't really. I'm not there. And if that makes me a bad person, then you're kind of wrong because I'm not. So that's not nice either. So, you know, that's fucking just not real. That's fake. So, but like the COVID thing with having time, everybody became an activist all the time.
Right.
They didn't have shit to do. Now fucking 5 million people quit their jobs last week. So there's probably more people who are just activizing.
That's what I'm saying, dude. You know, that's a good segue where, so the Great Resignation is something I've personally been following for like a minute because I just find it so fascinating. I hear people quitting their jobs, and as someone, I've only been working for 2 years. I joined the workforce, and 6 months later the pandemic happened. I never had like some nice little time where I was kind of chilling at work. It wasn't
that nice.
Well, yeah, I guess it was.
It was work.
But I wish I had some like wiggle room before it was just like, oh, work now is every day feels like a movie.
In a
horror
movie. Yeah, not a
bad
good movie. Yeah.
Like, you're a supporting character that's gonna die, Dylan, like early in the movie. That's what, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm in it. I can't leave the workforce. I can't leave the workforce for 30 years. I can't afford to.
No, barring a really, really fortunate insurance incident, you're pretty much locked in.
I have been waiting. The way that I cross the street, dude, I'm begging a bus to just come by and fucking take a toe. Take one toe. Take my pinky toe.
I don't think you get that much. Oh, you might get actually a lot of money for a pinky toe.
That's what I'm saying.
You want to hear a fun little
I would lose
story?
A foot.
Dude, if you were,
prosthetics, where they're at now?
If you lose like one of these fingers, Emily, I know this from insurance. I learned this in class. She could realistically sue for mad money for loss of sexual, sex life.
That fun fact would stick with you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's absurd. The real story, a man lost his finger in a fucking snowblower because he shoved his hand in there. His wife won like $8 million or some shit because her lifestyle changed because she couldn't get like off or something because he was good with his right hand or some shit. Like literally that happened. That's a real story. So that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying if you wanted to lose something, maybe one of these fingers wouldn't hurt.
All
I'm
right.
just saying.
We got to
bite the towel.
What I was saying about the Great Resignation is like, I think I watched a piece about it that, because I have heard some friends that aren't working currently. I know some people that are my age that like aren't working right now. I know some people that have like quit their job or like in between jobs. And those people I have my questions about, but I saw that, I thought it was like the Great Resignation was like all about that, but it's more about the majority of the people are like in their 50s and they're kind of just like, I was planning on retiring at 65, but fuck this shit, I'm out, I'm not dealing with this anymore.
Right.
So it's like all like higher level people kind of like just like leaving the workforce and saying fuck it. Which I get totally.
Oh, that's a huge part of it. And like, dude, I mean, if I was 50 and something and this was going on, I'd be like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm all set.
Right.
And it's that though, and it's also a change in the workplace dynamic where it's like because I'm going through this right now with our company where we're hiring. People demand to be able to work from home now. So if you're not offering work from home, they genuinely, or if you're not paying enough, like people are going for price and the ability to work from home. And if you're like short on price a little bit, or you're not going to give them work from home, they don't even want to work. They're like, I'll either go somewhere else or I just won't fucking work. Like they're not motivated to get behind the desk.
That's the thing though. I get the demands. Like it's an employee's market right now.
Right.
It's at like,
they
I'm
have
an
the
employee,
power.
so I feel like I have the power and I'm trying to wield it and like use it in my advantage.
Piece of shit.
Listen, what are you going to do? It's a tough world out there.
It's the weather.
Spoken like a real owner over there.
You know.
Bitch ass.
I've been told to start thinking like an owner, so I'm glad it's paying off. By my dad before he beats me.
But work from home, it's kind of like fine. Don't you want to work from home?
No. I've been trying to get this across to the people in my office, specifically my dad and honestly just the only two people that matter, my dad and the VP, where I'm just like, yo, like the work from home thing, I get that you don't get it, but 2 days a week being able to work from home, like this is the way I think about it. As long as you could measure if someone's home and doing their work.
Exactly.
If they're not doing the work, fucking fire them.
Right.
Easiest decision you've ever had to make.
Right.
Hire them. They're not doing the work when they're home.
Fire 'em.
Easy. Be like, this is why. Gone. See you never. Easiest thing you ever have to do. It's better than keeping somebody on who's not doing their fucking job anyway.
Right. I genuinely believe, like, if you give people the work from, because everyone knows they got to work.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you give people that, they buy in more.
Oh,
you know what
absolutely.
I mean? It's like you get people to work for you and be happy with you when you give them what they want. You know what I mean? It's like it was proven. Like productivity didn't change that much for most situations.
Yep. It's just like the Gary Vee principle. Gary Vee always preaches that you give your employees unlimited days off, like unlimited sick days, vacation days, unlimited. And the way that because nobody's going to take off 2 months at a time because they're going to lose their job. So you gauge a good dedicated employee by how they use that power. It's on them. If you want to you need to take a week off of this, okay, cool. But if you're going to do that and then you're going to take another week off then, and then you don't come back for 2, like you could see who's a good employee and who you got a shit can, and then you fire the ones who were shit.
Right.
Like it's a good test of a loyal employee.
The Great Resignation though really makes me so curious because like you talk to anyone our age and like everyone's unhappy with their job, it seems. Like I feel like a vast majority of like millennials are like not pumped about their jobs. Would you agree or you disagree?
I definitely agree, but I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that millennials and us definitely are guilty. We are both definitely guilty of this. We all have this like pipe dream of like, okay, I'm doing this job, but I'd love to be doing this. And like, we're in an era where it's possible. So every day I'm not doing this, I'm miserable.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, I should just quit and like write that book or whatever. Like you can do it. And I feel like the millennials, like our parents' generation they were just like, I got to work to survive. And that's it. And okay, let's do it.
But we have to, that's what I'm saying. We have to work to survive also. But I feel like a lot of people are just like, fuck it.
They are.
But then I'm like, but where are you going? Because you got a lot of life to live. You know what I mean? I'm like, is everyone just surviving off their crypto or something and I'm missing out?
I think a lot of people, I wish that was the case. I think a lot of people are surviving off their parents, bro.
Yeah.
I think that's a big
That's
thing.
what I'm saying.
A lot of people have their parents paying their rent and shit. Which
But
I would suck all the dicks.
When does it
to
end,
have
though?
my parents
You're
pay
just
my rent.
like, are you just never gonna like if you join the workforce and you kind of were working a little bit, and then like your parents are kind of paying you shit, and then you're just like, fuck this, like I'm just gonna go travel, and you spend all your money, and then you pay, and then you're like 33, and like you maybe you had kids or something, and then it's like you're just not working. Like I just don't understand where the workforce right now is in such a weird position. Where I'm like, I am like kind of committed to the thought of like, for the next 30 years, I'm going to have to work and hopefully I'll be 58 by then. And if I'm lucky, I'll be able to retire around that age. Like that's a pretty realistic like age to retire and that our parents kind of committed to. And I just wonder myself, I'm like, these people that aren't thinking that, I'm like, what's the long-term plan?
Yeah,
Am I like a bitch for thinking of a long-term plan? Should I just fuck my long-term around and start lying a bunch and going out and convincing you to go out and party with me more?
I honestly, I could use the motivation. I don't understand the whole travel like lifestyle where like I feel like so many kids our age are driving across the country. Like I don't get how that's a thing. But what I do think is definitely happening is the workforce is changing. Like the economic environment is changing permanently. Like this whole work from home thing rapidly and permanently, and it happened strictly because of the pandemic, but it was, we were at a place, I guess, where technologically it was possible. So the combination of that and the pandemic keeping people home, like the work from home thing's here to stay for sure. No doubt. Like people aren't going to come back into the office. That's not going to happen. And I feel like we kind of just have to, that's what we're in now. But what I don't get is how people like the work from home thing, that demand, I understand. What I don't understand is how so many people are quitting their jobs now. Like we've surpassed this year. We've surpassed last year, the highest year ever of quitting jobs. Like I think the highest before this year was 31 million jobs. Like people quit their jobs. Now it's 35 million. So it's 4 million more than the highest ever in the history of America. But inflation is at also the highest since like 1997.
Right.
So like, I don't get how prices are going up. It's getting more expensive to live, period. Gas is more expensive, food's more expensive, and we're not getting our shit from fucking the
housing.
housing's more expensive. Like all this shit is like it's
Supply,
utilities,
like
everything is
everything's
more expensive. But people are quitting their jobs.
Right.
What does that? What do you mean?
That's what I'm saying. The Great Resignation. There's no like I quit my job for the higher paying job. All I hear about is the people quitting their job.
Right.
I don't hear about the people getting other jobs.
Well, I guess that's just what I'm seeing from like a day to day with like looking for fucking employees. But the people quitting their jobs in this current economic situation, I just don't even understand how it's possible.
Right.
I understand that people are not motivated to work because, I mean, are they still getting benefits from the government? Like, are they still getting stimulus checks? And I don't think so, right?
I don't think
Does
so.
That, do you know if they're getting any fucking
Unemployment?
right unemployment? Like that all stopped, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't mean to talk out of my ass because I guess I don't for sure know, but I just don't get how people are just quitting their jobs. What I did see here though is people are going back to like a one income household structure.
Oh yeah.
Where instead of like having a husband and a wife that are working, they're having just the husband work and the wife stay home. And I also saw this, I don't know if it was in the same video, but I saw this speech where someone basically was saying that the whole idea of having a two income house causes inflation. Because the average household income becomes more expensive, becomes higher, so then price of goods go up, which I don't know how much. That seems like it fucking might be happening because now we're back to a one income household, but shit's expensive.
But even you think about that, I'm like I'm straight going to. We were going to college. Fordham cost like $65,000 a year.
Yes, it was less than that when I was there, but it was a lot of money.
It's $65,000 a year now. Neither
right
of us
now
have,
it's all probably closer to 70.
That's
almost.
so. By the time you have kids, it's going to be
$1
like
billion.
$100K.
Right, all your money.
And then it's only one parent working.
Well, I think also I think the whole expensive college thing is gonna stop.
That's what I'm saying. So many things.
Millennials aren't
even
gonna
you
be
talk about,
shelling out $1 million for fucking 4 years of college.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I feel like millennials are like the Greeks. You know how when you hear about,
I need you to go further into
you
that.
know when you hear about Greece and it's just like, oh, like no one works there. It's like a failed state. It's a welfare state. Like the economy's crashed. Like I don't know shit about shit, but like whenever I hear Greece, I always hear that shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, millennials, like, I think I work hard and, like, I'm kind of committed to that because I feel like I don't really have a choice. But, like, a lot of millennials are we're lazy as fuck and we like to spend our money and we don't make that much money. I saw a thing that 73% of millennials live paycheck to paycheck.
I believe that 100%, especially because...
That's an absurd amount.
Dude, and millennials don't buy shit. Like, we don't buy assets. We don't buy houses or cars.
Right.
We rent everything. Which I'm honestly... I get renting. I'm renting personally. But, like... How many people do you know that own a house?
Starting to pick up now.
Starting to, but a handful of people that are married, and honestly, most of my friends that are married are still renting. Like our parents owned houses at 24.
Right.
Not that I think that's a good financial decision, but I'm just saying the mindset is completely changed.
Right.
Like because you don't own a house and you don't need if you could always move back in with your parents, so like the fear of getting evicted isn't that big.
Right.
Like if you couldn't pay your mortgage, that's a terrifying situation.
That's a bad situation.
It's different than not being able to pay 1 month's rent and then being like, oh shit, I got to move back into fucking Beverly Hills with daddy.
The 30-year
it's
mortgage,
different.
that's a commit.
That's a commitment, and then you're like locked into the system. You're like, you got to make that money or else you're out in the fucking, you're done. You're done.
You're done.
Yeah, you're getting, someone's showing up, knocking on your door.
Not even,
so
even
it's a different mindset.
A whole other rabbit hole to go down is the work from home situation that Midtown Manhattan, still people are not back in offices. It's how many months are we into this shit? 2 weeks.
More than
2 weeks
year,
to stop the
right?
spread.
Right.
We're at like what, 19 months or some shit.
It's almost 2 years.
Like
right?
Midtown Manhattan, I feel like I haven't even. There were at least like chirps when people were like getting vaccinated, and we thought that it was just eradicated it. Like back in the good old days, I was like, oh, dude, people are gonna be back in the
glory
office.
days.
People are gonna be back in the office in no time. But now it's like. It's such, and people would always be like, "Oh yeah, we're going back in March." Oh no, they pushed it back to September. No, now we're gonna go December. I feel like now it's time. They're just like, "Fuck it," like I don't know anymore. No one knows anymore.
Well,
so the whole infrastructure, dude, of Midtown Manhattan is office space.
Yeah,
businesses, lunch places, breakfast spots, Dwayne Reed's, local mom and pa's. Like there's so many things happening in Midtown Manhattan cities that. If you take away, like, if everyone just starts working from home, like, the whole infrastructure of Manhattan collapses.
It collapses.
And a lot of cities do, which is fucking crazy.
Right, and it actually becomes more dangerous. Because, like, if you remember, back in the day, like our parents still to this day talk about Manhattan like it's it's Afghanistan, like it's a
Right.
war zone, like it's so dangerous. And the city's certainly a dangerous place. But back in the day, it was very dangerous because now you have so much foot traffic and there's so many retail stores and so many like occupied businesses everywhere you go that like there's only so much like brutal crime that could just happen in the street in broad day. But when you take away all those retail fronts, those storefronts, and those are all empty and there's no stores and there's no fucking businesses, that's why people are doing heroin in the middle of the fucking road in Manhattan.
People are taking diarrhea dumps in front of Rolex.
Right. Like that's exactly why that's going on. And that's why how cities start to crumble.
Listen, if you're homeless and you got a dump, I get it. You Midtown to go.
Yeah, but just waffle it into a fucking grate. But just shit on a
dude. If I was Mr. Rolex and my Midtown Manhattan, which like should be one of like your flagship stores, some dude was just taking a fat fucking dump in front of your store that sells $10,000 watches. Like, who's gonna go in there and buy a $10,000 watch knowing that a homeless man was just taking a shit 2 feet away from it?
A lot of people probably. And honestly, if I'm Mr. Rolex man, you can shit in front of my building as much as you want, as long as I'm making the chink which he is. I'm pretty fine with people shitting in front of my store.
Fine.
Honestly, if that'll help me make more money, please start shitting in front of my store. If anybody's listening, please. Oh,
changing topics here to something real stupid. On last Thursday, I was like so stressed out at nighttime, and I was like, I'm gonna take a little bit of shrooms and go on a little microdose adventure.
What time?
It was like 4 p.m.
Oh, I'm thinking nighttime. I'm like, bro,
no.
It lasts like 5 hours.
No. It was like casual. It was a little microdose.
Nice.
So I'm walking around. I'm having a good time. I was like, kind of with the COVID thing, I'm starting a new home care job. Like I just had a shit ton on my plate, and I was like, I've been working hard. I'm gonna enjoy myself, have a little afternoon. So I go for a big ass walk. This is when I saw the guy on the river. I go for a big ass walk. I come back up to the there's like a park right next to my apartment where there's a big I don't even know what the hell it is. It's like a memorial thing. It's like just like a huge statue building thing that's like kind of blocked off, but it has like stairs leading up to it.
Okay.
Sure. And people chill on the steps. It's a place where people chill on the steps. So I go on the steps and I'm fucking chilling. I'm in like a flannel and I had I hadn't shaved, so I had a beard, and I'm literally
Hipster city.
Yeah, I'm
on shrooms.
I'm shrooms. I'm looking homeless, honestly. I'm looking pretty homeless, and I'm laying like a homeless person. Like I'm like laying across like 6 steps. I just had a great walk. I was listening to music, and I'm fucking chilling so hard. This little girl, maybe like 2 or 3 years old, just rolls right up next to me and just sits down. I was like, what the hell? And she goes, what are you doing?
How old is she?
Like literally 3. She was on one of those scooters with the 2 wheels in the front. She was probably 3 years old.
Was there an adult?
Yes, there was an adult behind, like trailing behind, but she was like pushing on the scooter and then came up the steps and just sat down right next to me. Oh. So she's like, what are you doing? I was like, I was having a great time. I was like, I'm lounging, man.
I'm on mushrooms.
I was like, I'm chilling. I had a long day. She's like, why are you sitting like that? I was like, I just went on a long walk and like I'm real tired. I'm like, how about you? She's like, I want to sit down too. I was like, yeah, grab a seat. Like, what's up? Like, how was your day? And she's like, oh, like I'm pretty tired too. I was like, oh, did you go to school today? And she's like, yeah. And me and this girl getting like a full blown conversation. Up rolls grandma, dude. And you would have thought that like I was stuffing this girl into a bag, like getting rid of the way this lady like ran up here. We're fucking chilling. Like I'm literally lounging. I'm hysterical laughing. I'm on mushrooms, but I'm chilling. Like we're chilling. She's having a great time. The little girl's cracking up. Me and her having a fucking blast. And the grandma rolls up and she's like, Susie. Okay, all right. It's time to go. I was like, yeah, like you should probably get out of here. Like, all right, join. And she's like, oh, grandma, like, can we just stay a little bit longer? I was like, come on.
Oh, no.
This is where I knew I fucked up. I knew I fucked up after this.
It was at this point.
But it was I was like, I got to do it.
Yeah.
And the grandma was like, Susie, get down here now. And then the girl like walked down and she like fucking rolled away.
Well, because that's what I'm saying. Manhattan is a dangerous place, so you're just some random scruffy dude on the street.
I know, but like, we're having a good time.
In a fucking beanie.
You can't talk to kids anymore, though.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't. People watched way too much Law and Order SVU.
You can't talk to kids. You can't talk to girls anymore. You can't talk to anybody.
Right.
You can't talk to anybody.
You can't. You talk to me.
I talk to everybody now.
Right.
I'm just like, fuck it. Long Beach is a very talk to everybody town. I've been talking to everybody.
Yeah, that's
good. Good vibes.
It's good. I tried to talk to a local.
Very cold.
It is very cold.
Because, you know, I used to listen
very cold.
I used to listen to a lot of comedians make jokes about, like, the girls in the city, it was like, oh, you go up to a girl in Manhattan, they're just like, ugh, like they won't even look at you. They're so mean. You go down south, they're so nice. But for real now, it's that coldness has turned into like stranger danger if you're within like 2 feet of a human. Like it's like very weird.
If you don't simp or agree with them politically, like they'll bite your fucking head off.
Oh my God, you gots to simp.
Yeah.
The political thing? Yikes.
It's one or the other.
Oof.
And I was just having a good time with the little 3-year-old. Grandma was
maybe don't phrase it like that. I was just having a good little time with a 3-year-old.
You're the problem.
Am I?
Yeah. I was just talking to her.
I'm definitely a problem.
We were having a great time.
Oh, she seems like a cute kid too.
She was cracking up.
And you know what? Now
grandma came out. She was all tight. The grandma was all like tight button and shit. And I was like, the grandma's taking care of her. Both parents probably work. This girl probably doesn't get any fun interactions. Uncle Dylan gave her a fun little interaction.
Don't say it like that.
I know
either.
that also sounded wrong.
That would made it worse.
And naming myself any little interaction.
Uncle Dylan doesn't sound good.
Why though? It's familial.
I don't know, but Uncle Joey sounds way less creepy than Uncle Dylan. It's just the truth.
Fuck you.
I'm sorry, it's the facts. Frankie, Uncle Joey or Uncle Dylan? What's more creepy? Uncle Dylan's more creepy. I'll answer for you. Uncle Dylan's way more creepy. And you know what sucks about that kid's interaction with you? She went in, she was confident. She just started talking to a nice person. Now her grandma fucking traumatized her from talking to strangers. She's going to be recluse the rest of her life. She'll probably die alone, unmarried, probably all because of that interaction. How upset is that? How upsetting is that, Grandma? You did that, Grandma.
You did that, Grandma. You did that.
Unreal, man. Unreal.
Just trying to hang out with Uncle D.
That makes it way worse. That's the worst it could get. I think even Uncle O'Keefe is better than Uncle D.
Uncle D.
Papa O'Keefe is better. Big, I was going to say Big D. That's way worse. That's just not even.
Right.
What do you think's the best? I think Gabriel is your best shot.
Uncle Gabriel?
I'm just kidding. That sounds terrible.
That's tough. I forget my middle name is Gabriel often.
I think we all do.
Yeah.
We don't talk about it enough that your middle name is Gabriel. It's super biblical. I'm Joseph and you're Gabriel. I mean,
right.
Wait, wasn't Gabriel the angel that told Mary that Jesus knocked her up? The archangel Gabriel. I think I'm Joseph, so you cucked me. You cucked me. Wow. Huh. How about that?
How do you like that?
Who would have thought?
What else we got on the docket?
I think maybe the last thing we get into is this whole billionaire situation.
Right. That's a very fun one.
Because I think that's just a fun one, and it's really the last thing we
need to talk about today.
This was fucking... Dude, so I think human beings have always wanted to have a pill where you live forever. It's like when you're growing up, you're like, I wish I could live forever. But then you kind of get older and you fucking like, I don't really want to live forever. This kind of sucks a little bit. It's pretty stressful. People suck and everything smells bad. But so you don't really want it.
Right.
Well, fucking Jeff Bezos and the one of the CEOs of Google and a couple other big ass corporations are funding like cell rejuvenation studies to be able to live possibly forever, definitely into the 200s and 300s of years of age. So, what? This is the thing, though. When you're growing up,
do it too.
Like, they're gonna do it. Oh, 100%, they're gonna do it. It won't be soon, but it'll happen. The thing that scares me is this: like when you're growing up and you're like, I want to live forever. That'd be great. I wish Grandma could live forever. All these things, right? It'd be so nice. But the problem is not that. The problem is it's fucking sociopaths like Jeff Bezos who have the money, and the fact that he wants to live forever is terrifying.
Right.
Because he's already doing fucked up things like in his first 100 years of life.
Right.
Like you give that man indefinite, like he's on this earth forever. I mean, I don't want that.
He'll be the king.
He'll be the king, and that's what he wants.
Because it's just
that's the thing. He doesn't want to live forever because he wants to live forever. He wants to live forever because he doesn't want to let go of the power.
Right.
He's got so much power and money and fortune right now.
Suck
He doesn't
the
want to
hair
get
right
rid
off
of it.
his head.
Dude, he single-handedly delayed the U.S. moon landing because he didn't win the bid. Like Elon Musk, SpaceX won the bid to go to the moon, and Jeff Bezos. I didn't honestly read all the details, but he disrupted it so that it got delayed a few years or whatever. Like he disrupted the whole process. It's a very selfish thing. He wanted the power. He wanted to be the first one there. He wants the money that comes with exploring, the moon and shit for the first time. Like, he wants all that. So the fact that he's the guy who's like, we're going to live forever, follow me. I'm like, fuck no. That's terrifying.
I feel like Jeff Bezos is going to have a very hard time finding followers. I feel like Elon Musk has like an absolute unit of dudes that will like blindly follow him.
I'll run through a wall for that man.
Yeah.
Right now.
But Jeff Bezos, there's just something about Jeff Bezos that, like, Elon Musk is just kind of cooler or something.
He's the coolest.
He's the coolest. Yeah, he does cool shit. Like, Jeff Bezos started selling books in a garage and then just started like capitalizing on a bunch of other shit and realized if you just deliver shit really fast, like Americans will just eat that shit up.
And he treats everybody terribly in his company, like really, really badly.
Really bad.
Like really badly.
I watched a thing one time about the people that work in the factories and the way that it's wild. Like, you work in this like huge factory that's like 3 football fields, and it's like the top like 100,000 items you could buy on Amazon like exist in this warehouse, and all day you have a phone that it's like Q12 toilet paper, 5 minutes, and you have 5 minutes they like time your pace, and it's like you have 5 minutes to get to Q12, and you get to Q12 and you throw it in the thing, and then it's like, all right, you have to get a toy in R88. And that's like a mile away, but you got like 8 minutes. And then you're like fucking jogging there. And if you don't get there in time, they dock your pay. And if you take pee breaks, they dock your, like, it counts on the time.
But the amount of time that they give you to get from point A to point B is like, you'd have to all out sprint. And even then you're like just getting there. Like, dude, they even had a thing where, I don't know if you caught this story a few weeks back, but they had a sort of a mess, like a glitch sort of in their algorithm where, because everything's like kind of automated there. It's all algorithm based. So like when employees they were requesting days off, like PTO, like vacation days, and they were giving them. But like that system didn't communicate with like the system that like basically the attendance, like that it takes attendance to see who's there to like dock their pay. So employees were like getting back from vacation and then getting fired for like not being in work for a week. But they had gotten approval on getting the vacation, and then Amazon was just like, nah. Sorry. Oops. And I think they're trying to fix it, but like they didn't fucking fix it, So not a good dude.
Not a good dude.
And I feel like a lot of it's going to be all, the first time this pill, if it's a pill, gets rolled out once it's working.
It's definitely going to be an injection.
Or an injection, whatever it is, some sort of therapy. It's going to be, it's going to be weird. You're going to be hooked up to a machine like the fucking Green Goblin or some shit. It's going to be wild. Yeah. Probably exactly how it's going to go.
Nipple clamps are going to be involved.
Yeah, definitely clamps for sure.
Not even needed. It's just like Jeff's like, they're just like, why do I need my nipples clamped? And they're like, Jeff requires it.
Yeah, Jeff actually, it's his thing.
Jeff Bezos
he recommends
absolutely has weird like paid for girls electrocute his nipples, no doubt.
Oh, no doubt. He gets pegged too, for sure.
He definitely gets pegged.
Did you see his girlfriend like trying to suck Leo's dick? That was sick. I loved every second of it. And also Jeff Bezos is like yay big and Leo's like Big Daddy. It was great. What were we talking about? Nipples? Oh, and the last thing I wanted to add to the Green Goblin thing, you have to kill one of the scientists in the room before you're allowed out. Just like the Green Goblin. You strangle him,
right,
and then they let you out with your living forever genes. So, but anyway.
I don't think people should live forever.
No, they shouldn't. It's beautiful that you get to live a life and then like pass on your knowledge to the next generation. Right. Like what? It's just going to be the same human beings on Earth forever now? And we don't have kids? The whole point of life is to reproduce. That's going to fuck with the population problem.
Oh,
for sure, because not everybody's going to stop having kids. Oh, so wait, Bill Gates, who wanted to fucking control population with vaccinations? I think it's all coming into play. It's all coming into play. Oh, no.
I think Jeff Bezos should just fly to Mars, colonize Mars.
Well, that's what he wants to do. Have you heard that part of it? So Jeff Bezos thinks we're not going to be on Earth for much longer. Jeff Bezos thinks that his dream is that we have little pods in space that have like trees and mountains and all these things. And then we're colonizing other places, and Earth will be a vacation destination where we can go to like the natural parks and shit as like a vacation.
You mean the Earth is his, we could have Mars.
Did you see
where they don't have oxygen? It just makes all the sense.
Did you see, Frankie? Did you see he was like, yeah, like, we'll outsource all of the manufacturing to like the moon. He's basically saying he's going to ship all of his employees to outer space and fucking where there's no laws and whip them into shape so we can get free shit all the time. Like, the man is crazy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want that guy living forever.
No, he doesn't deserve to.
No, he doesn't. And for all the regular people who aren't psychopathic, like sociopaths who like need to live forever, when you have like the regular old millionaires who have like, a yacht that they wish they don't want to give away the yacht because they don't want to die, but I don't even think those people are going to like benefit like us. I think suicide rates are just going to go like crazy high. Like after year 142, you're going to be like, fucking get me out of here.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, what is the situation? Do you look young, or like is you're just like you keep going? So is it going to be like
it's cell rejuvenation?
Oh, okay.
Which I think would mean you look young.
It's like that movie Timeless with Justin Timberlake.
Is that where they have the time?
Yeah,
that's a great movie.
That is a great movie. But they are all. It's like you get to age 25 and then you just stay 25.
Right. That would be ideal. I don't want to live forever as a 94-year-old.
Right.
Not even.
I wouldn't want to continue. Like if it was just something that like kept your heart beating, and you're just like a decrepit Jeff Bezos at 142.
You're like, I hate chocolate. You're like that little fucking shriveled up fucking worm in a wheelchair. Yeah, I don't want to be that.
Yeah, you don't want to be that.
No, I don't want to be that. But I don't think that's how it's going to go down.
No, he's definitely
because they started testing it on rats or mice or whatever, and the rats were showing like younger cells.
Right, but they were also getting tumors.
They were getting big
aggressive
fucking
rats. They're also getting big fat tumors.
Here, these cells are younger, then we gave you 3 billion more.
I honestly think Jeff Bezos is just trying to get some ass. I think how Mark Zuckerberg got like rejected and that's why he started Facebook. Like Jeff Bezos definitely didn't get ass. He's doing all this stuff. He brings his date. He definitely is just, he's not connecting with anyone.
No.
You know what I mean? No one's trying to connect with Jeff Bezos.
No, but that's why
and he's
going
to keep chasing that till he dies.
He'll chase till he dies.
Elon, him and his wife, I think, just got divorced.
Yeah, but okay. He still had a loving relationship, and everybody in America kind of
I feel like
him.
Elon is... When I say Elon is capable of emotions, I say that hesitantly because I've seen him speak, and I'm like, I don't know if this man...
He's certainly... Dude, have you ever seen the video of Elon Musk...
crying? Like, he cries and shit?
Dude,
yeah.
we're talking about, like, Neil Armstrong shit on him.
Yeah.
Which is, fuck you, Neil. I mean, the moon landing was arguably fake, so you have no pony in this race.
I don't think it was Neil.
Neil
was dead.
No, Neil had to be dead. Whatever. It was
Buzz Aldrin.
Buzz Aldrin. Somebody important that went on the moon.
Right.
Fucking shit
Some
on
NASA
Elon.
hero.
Yeah, some NASA hero shit on Elon. And he was crying in that interview. That was
Right.
beautiful. That's when I knew Elon was my fucking
I just don't
guy.
think Jeff Bezos is capable of love.
No, if you look, have you ever seen an old interview of Jeff Bezos when he had hair and shit? Like when he first started Amazon, he's like, actually, you have to stay. The funny thing is, I created Amazon because you just need something that people need. And they're like, he has that fucking
and now his life's like,
Yo, I love watching the fucking clips of like Dr. Lee, like, and then him like, it's fucking excellent content.
I don't think you're gonna die alone, Joe. I think you're gonna find someone.
I feel like that there means you do think I'm gonna die
Imagine
alone.
living 300 years and still dying alone.
This is the thing.
You know what I mean?
If
like,
you
at
tell
what
me-
point does Jeff Bezos, like, he turns like 150 and it's just like Jeff Bezos' Island of Love, and it's just like, man, my man is just so sad, and he just like keeps doing the rejuvenation thing because he just like cannot find anyone to love him, and everyone's just like, dude, just fuck off and die already. We
just
all
die.
hate you.
He'll be assassinated if they invent this, and he lives for.
Dude, his skull is bulletproof. He's
No, it's
bulletproof,
not.
that thing.
No, he's not.
That's why it's
He'll
bald.
He'll die.
He shaved his head and it's coated in metal.
You think?
Yes.
He's very cyborg-esque.
He's very cyborg.
I have this prediction though. If this does happen and people start living to like 300 or even infinitely, monogamy is out the window. You're not getting married to a woman that you're going to have to be with for 400 years. That will never shut your mouth.
Watchmen.
Listen, I love Emily. There's
Watchmen.
no way you put up with her for 400
Our love
years.
is eternal.
You've been together for
Bitch.
7 years. 400?
Yeah, bring it on. It gets better every day.
That's so much time.
It gets better every day.
That's fucking beautiful. Wow.
That's my
beautiful.
future wife you're talking about.
I think you're gonna live. I think
getting
you're gonna
married in
die
less than
together.
10
I think you're
months.
gonna die together, but you're both gonna die in your 80s, most likely. Maybe 90s.
I think
Maybe
that is-
100. Maybe you'll cross 100. Emily will probably live to 100. You got mid 90s. You're welcome. I was generous there. But there's no 300 years with one person. You're just gonna be like, why are we doing this? 300 years. You have to be happy for 300 years. There's just no way that you're gonna. Why would you do that to yourself?
Right.
Nothing to Emily. No disrespect. Love you, Emily.
You know, sounds like a guy who doesn't have a love in his life right now.
I'm very alone.
Have a
Don't
good
make
week,
this
y'all.
about me. Peace, y'all.
Share, like, subscribe. We're doing great. We hit a little fizzle this week. We got some good people in the comments. Some people that follow us, you guys are dope, and you say things like, oh, I just found this page out of nowhere, and like I can't believe it doesn't have more views. Do us a favor. If there's one specific video you like, send it to one friend.
Hell yeah. Send it to a friend. And
Send it to a friend. We
let it-
believe in this product.
Right.
We believe in our talk. We believe in this shit. And I think you guys like us too, so let's keep going.
Yeah, dude, and let us know
Spread
in the
the love.
comments. Let us know in the comments, like, what do you like? What do you want? What do you
you
like
wanna
that we
hear from
talk
us?
about? What do you want to hear from us? Like,
Yeah.
what do you think about what we're saying? Like, let us know in the comments, man. We love hearing from you. Oh, we got some comments right now. Let's read them off real quick before we fucking bounce. Why not?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, we got always a fun time here, gents. Keep it up. And then
My guy.
and this is about Bezos. Pretty sure he's just trying to avoid inheritance taxes.
Yo, for real, those inheritance taxes be a bitch. But he won't have to pay him if he dies. If you die, you don't gotta pay him. Your kid's gonna have to pay him. Which does he have kids?
I don't know.
They gotta be petri dish children.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. All right.
Oh.
Have a good
All right,
week,
y'all.
y'all.